Hello and welcome back to Game & Muscle videos. Now today marks the day that Assetto Corsa comes out on console for those of you in America. Those of us in Europe have had it on console for a while already. I don't know why that happens like that, but there you go. And those of us with PCs, of course, have been playing AC since black and white TVs and the invention of the aeroplane. Nonetheless, 1.8 came out recently for the PC. And what are the changes? What's happened? What's good? What's bad? And should you get the latest DLC, which is only £1.99, the price of a McDonald's large coffee? Well, straight off the back, you will probably get more enjoyment from the Assetto Corsa DLC than a McDonald's coffee, though you won't get severe facial burns if you rub the DLC on your face, but don't try that with the coffee. Of the cars that come in the triple pack, I think the most exciting is probably the 488 GTB, which is a road version of the GT 488 car. There's so many Ferraris in Assetto Corsa. I didn't even know half these Ferraris existed. In my mind, there was maybe 12 Ferraris in the wild. But actually, it turns out that Ferraris are sort of like bacteria that have just multiplied and taken over everything. And Assetto Corsa have put most of them in the game. So that's nice if you like Ferraris. But of the triple pack cars, the Ferrari 488 GTB is certainly very nice. Of course, they've also added the Praga R1. A car that makes no sense. It's got so much grip, you probably have to drive it off the cliffs of Dover to get a little bit of rear slip. You can tweak the differential to get the back end a bit on some lift-off oversteer, but you know, it's about as bland as cars go. It's a Formula car with a roof strapped on it. Maybe it's a Formula car designed for the United Kingdom. You could drive this without getting too much water on your helmet. But let's be honest, it's the worst car in Assetto Corsa. It's so bland. It's more bland than a meal of just potatoes on a plate. It's the potato with nothing of cars. There's people that do like it though. We've got on the Assetto Corsa forum, XEZ, can't even say his name. That's probably why he likes the Praga. He's created a post called the Praga R1 Appreciation Society. And to be honest, I think if you like this car, you should be lined up and shot. I don't know what's wrong with you. But you know, everyone likes different vehicles. So, but obviously they're wrong because we're right. So the Praga is the worst car in Assetto Corsa. But you get that. You can drive it if you want to feel it. If you're in a good mood and you want to be in a bad mood, I think the Praga is a really good car for that. And I have to congratulate Kunos for putting a car in the game that causes such emotional strife. It's like watching a really sad film. Don't know why people go to watch sad films. The Praga is the sad film of race cars. Well, it's enough about the Praga. I never want to talk about it again. Never going to see it again. Terrible. And the last car you get in the Tripl3 Pack, triple pack. I don't even know what they call this pack. It's the triple pack. We'll call it the triple pack. The last car you get is the FXXK, which is another Ferrari. I've not spent much time with it. We'll have to check it out properly before commenting on it. But it's another Ferrari. As I say, Ferraris all over the place. It's Ferrari confetti, Assetto Corsa. Now, other changes that we noticed. There's, of course, a changelog. I'm not going to read through the changelog. That would be absurd. The biggest changes, most noticeable changes that seem to have happened in 1.8. Performance. The game runs about 15 to 20% faster depending on what settings you use, but in general it's a good boost of performance. And I guess this performance has come from the fact that to run Assetto Corsa on the game consoles, which let's face it are not exactly fast machines, Kunos have had to optimize, do tweaks, and I guess they've probably carried some of those tweaks across onto the PC side, which is really nice. Now I could be wrong, they might have just done completely new specific updates for the PC version, totally separate to the console version. That's just coincidence. But regardless, you get more performance out of Assetto Corsa, and we'll be doing some tests in VR with Assetto Corsa to see if it runs better than previously with different settings. I know some people are having different mileage when playing with VR in Assetto Corsa in terms of performance, and it also seems to depend on people's graphics cards and some other things as to how much performance gain they get. But in general, most people that I've talked to seem to be getting around 15 to 20% frame rate boost with Assetto Corsa from the previous version, which is absolutely fantastic. That's that's quite a sizable increase in performance. Other changes and updates, the content as well. We've got the full Monza course updated a little bit, and then they've added the junior course, so it includes a sort of follow-through version of the course with the ramp. Again, if you were in these 60s and you were driving Monza, you would have to be absolutely bananas. The banked part of the track is ludicrous. It's instant death if you were to drive over the edge of it, and some drivers did, and as you all know from classic Formula films, they ended up in the trees. It's such a dangerous track with the cars back then as well, which were essentially, you were the wick in a magnesium candle. Not a good situation, and then you combine that with a track like the classic Monza, and well, it's good fun in the simulator, so check that out. Absolutely incredible, and I think you get that update regardless of if you buy the DLC, but absolutely bananas. The reflection quality and shadows, those will go with the performance updates. Little tweaks here and there. I'm not going to read through the whole changelog list, as I say, that would be absurd and a waste of everyone's time. The biggest change now that I've noticed playing AC 1.8, and I hope this isn't placebo, I hope I've not just invented this, haven't had a gap from AC and gone from, I've been playing some of the other simulators like Automobilista and F1 2060, been trying all the games and everything, so I hope this isn't just me, but I think in 1.8 I get the impression that there have been some underlying physics changes. Now I know they've got tyre model 10, let's just give another number to the next tyre model every time they change everything. I know they've done an updated tyre model, or there's been progression on that, but it seems to me that there's some aspects of how the cars slide, or sort of their over the limit handling character has changed a bit. I hope I'm not making this up because I'm going to look a complete plonker, but this is probably placebo. But I'm getting the impression, with some vehicles at least, that the way they slide in some ways is slightly more believable. So if you watch real cars drifting, for example, or someone drive a real normal car badly and they get into a bit of a slide, you'll notice that real cars can sort of be stuck in a bit of an angle quite easily. It's not like with most driving simulators and driving games, or more driving simulators, it's not like with driving simulators, when you get the car to slide out, they sort of either want to be rotating and that's it, you're dead, or they want to be coming back straight away and that's it, the drift's over. Simulators tend to find it really hard to actually do nice, smooth drifting, or sort of drifting where you can be in very graduated angles, and the car's happy with that. Real world cars are often quite happy with being in some kind of quite large slip angle. Obviously it's not desirable for lap time, and also it depends on the car as well, and it depends on the car setup, but in general a lot of cars are very happy with having quite wide degrees of slip, and the driver being not being hard for the driver to control that. Now I think AC in the latest update has improved this to some extent, where the cars can now actually be held in various angles more comfortably. I just get that impression from driving some of the vehicles in 1.8. Maybe I've invented that, but that seems to have changed. But what also seems to have changed is, I think, actually catching the cars when you get in a tank slapper. And I noticed this with the Mazda. It seems harder to catch the cars when they get into a tank slapper. Now this could be underlying physics changes, this could be tweaks in the force feedback, could be any number of things, but it seems that actually catching a tank slapper and finding that point where it's going to bite back is actually harder now than it was previously. It's a little bit more ambiguous, so it'll be interesting to investigate that more, but to me that would actually seem like one of the largest underlying changes in AC. Following on from that, when I was driving the Mazda on Sim Racing System, I thought, well, let's have a little fiddle with the force feedback, seeing I'm now struggling to catch the car, or it seems different to what it was previously. Hope this isn't placebo. Probably is. So anyway, I changed through the force feedback, and it looks like enhanced understeer effect seems to actually not be as drastic as it was previously. So I was fiddling around with that, and you can use the enhanced understeer effect. It sort of magnifies the grip of the tyres. The force feedback lightens up a lot more depending on how much grip the vehicle's got. And previously I avoided the enhanced understeer effect in the force feedback because I found it basically give the impression that the car, as soon as you went around the corner, it's like, oh, the car's got no grip, because the force feedback would light up and it felt very much as if you were in some kind of slide and the tyres were just totally loose on the road surface. But now it seems to enhance understeer, at least with some of the vehicles that I've tried it out with, actually conveys the grip without completely ruining the illusion that you're attached to the road. So if you haven't, it might be worth you checking out the enhanced understeer tick box and giving it a go, just see what you think. I'm still fiddling with it. I'm not 100% convinced on it, but it seemed quite good, and it was nice to have a little bit more feel as to the front end grip. But I mostly tried it out with the GT cars, so I did try it with the Shelby Cobra, but it'll be interesting to try it out with all the cars and see the results across the range. It's it's sim racing. You've got to fiddle. You've got to fiddle and probably achieve nothing. That's half of the joy of sim racing. Other aspects to the update. That's about it as far as the main ones. As I said, there's a giant changelog on the Assetto Corsa forums and the various websites that post about the update. Go and check it out. Give it a look-see. You might see something in there that tickles your pickle. But all in all, Assetto Corsa 1.8. Absolutely fantastic. Assetto Corsa as a title has progressed really nicely. With the console launch as well, I've noticed straight away there's a lot more people knowing about sim racing. And Assetto Corsa on the... we'll talk about the console version of the game now. Sorry guys on PC, but I think this is interesting to everyone, or important to everyone. I've noticed that although there's been quite a few reviews where the review guys obviously don't get it's a simulator, and they point out that in terms of gameplay, and it's not that they're lying, it's true. In terms of gameplay, if you're looking at traditional game mechanics of the gaming aspects of AC, it's pretty shit as a game, let's face it. As a simulator, it's absolutely bloody fantastic. Now, some of the reviews don't seem to get the simulator thing, even though I think it even says a simulator on the box, the console box. But in general, I think actual console players do get it. And when I've had people message me that were new, people that come on the stream, people that literally just come into this and they're getting a wheel just for this game, they are actually appreciating it as a simulator. And they're like, oh no, this is really cool, feels like the real thing, as much as it can do. And they're like, oh, I didn't like Project Cars, but I liked AC. And they're getting into the whole sim racing thing. They're buying steering wheels, they're considering it. And some people even considering buying a PC just to get the better version of Assetto Corsa, because of course the console version has been crippled by peasantry. So in general, actually I think the console launch has gone down really well, introduced lots of new people to sim racing, and what we'll see from today, it's obviously coming out in America, so there'll be even more people coming to it. It's just going to be really interesting. It's really nice to see that Kunos have finally stretched their legs. They've jumped into the Atlantic Ocean. They were swimming in the children's end of the local outdoor pool, and now they've left that pool. They've removed their swimming protected floating things, and they've jumped straight into the Atlantic, into a little bit of a storm. And at the moment, they're just avoiding the ferries and the cruise liners, but hopefully they won't sink, and they seem to be just about staying buoyant as it is, and gaining fans as they go. It might still end up being like the end of Titanic, where they hit an iceberg and Jack drowns and is let go to fall to the bottom of the sea. What a bitch! She should have saved him. She should have given him the raft. But that's it. Don't go on the Titanic with rich girls. That's my life lesson for this video. But Assetto Corsa 1.8, triple pack available, absolutely fantastic. Get on Sim Racing System, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Too much social media. Thank you for watching this. I hope it informed you as to what's been going on in 1.8 and what's happening. I will see you in the next video we do. Until then, goodbye. With its trademark alien grip strips, 30 years later in 1999, the Paul Ricard track has become one of the most popular test venues, host to multiple Formula 1 Grand Prix, and more recently the European Le Mans Series.